The thorough analysis of the origin of species, lesson 29, supplementary lesson for the evolutionists. Charles Darwin says, I see no good reason why the views given in this volume should shock the religious feelings of anyone. It is satisfactory as showing how transient such impressions are to remember that the greatest discovery ever made by man, namely the law of the attraction of gravity, was also attacked by Leibniz as subversive of natural and inferentially of revealed religion. A celebrated author and divine has written to me that he has gradually learned to see that it is just as noble a conception of the deity to believe that he created a few original forms capable of self-development into other and needful forms, as to believe that he required a fresh act of creation to supply the void caused by the actions of his law. He is making an appeal that he cannot understand the reason why they link the evolution theory, which is scientific and objective, with the religion together. Here you must keep your eye upon the three words, deity, he, his. They are written in capitals in the middle of a sentence. These all indicate the Creator God. Evolutionists passing over his inner monologue and heart like this brought them into contact face to face, and says as if the evolution is the relativism of the creation, and the creation fell to its lot to be discarded. As stated again in the later part, he proclaimed the creation is in the reason he cannot approach. The belief that species were immutable productions was almost unavoidable as long as the history of the world was thought to be of short duration. The spiritual strength of man cannot possibly grasp the full meaning of the term of even 1,000,000 years. We cannot perceive the full effects of many slight variations accumulated during an almost infinite number of generations. Also, he didn't expect to be able to convince the narrow-minded naturalists stuck with a multitude of facts that are directly opposed to him. Several eminent naturalists published their belief that lots of species in each genus are not real species, but they refused to extend the same view to other and slightly different forms. And they didn't define which are the created forms of life and which are those produced by secondary laws. They admit variations as vera causa in one case, and they arbitrarily reject it in another. These authors seem no more startled at a miraculous act of creation than at an ordinary birth. This is a metaphor showing that Charles Darwin was negative in the separate creation, but positive in the creation. And certainly we ought not to believe that innumerable beings within each great class have been separately created with plain but deceptive marks of descent from a single parent. The word separately was inserted into the original text intentionally. The reason is as follows. Where deceptive marks are homologous traces, homologous structures are organs varied so as to have the different function for the survival of the fittest, though its embryological origin is same. The above implies that the rudimentary organs resulted from natural selection must not be regarded as a proof of a separate creation. A hand of man, a forefoot of long-armed ape, a forefoot of cat, and a wing of bat are the instances of homologous traces, and their structures have a strong resemblance anatomically. The rudimentary organs are products of natural selection. God did not create the homologous organs separately and hour by hour. Homologous traces are not the proof of separate creation, but on the contrary are phenomena which are able to be used as a proof of natural selection. Therefore, it is natural logically that separate should be inserted, not taking Charles Darwin's real intention into consideration and only citing a sentence without separate. It is extraneous to Charles Darwin to claim that he denied the creation. In order to understand Charles Darwin's evolution theory correctly, first of all, it is an essential and critical prerequisite to make out the exact meaning of the key word separate when reading The Origin of Species. Shalom Aleichem.